I'm finally live. Some of you are probably like, it's been forever. How are you guys doing today? I decided to film like last minute after my workout a response video to the Canadian Prepper video that just came out on seeds, because I started getting a ton of DMs about it. So I thought, oh, I might as well go live here real quick while I have a chance. So don't mind the updo in all my glory. I'm gonna try, hold on guys. I'm gonna try to get the comment section up on my iPad so then I can see a little bit better, so I'm not like reaching over and touching the screen all the time. We'll see if this will work out very, very nicely. The other reason I came on here today is because I kept on getting a ton of DMs and like messages from an Instagram post that I made about specifically how you shouldn't walk or you shouldn't deal with wet soil at all. And people seemed really confused about that. Like they'd never heard of that before. So I kind of wanted to come on here and talk about that a little bit too. The garden right now is lava. You do not walk on your lawn or any sort of soil at this time. The exception to that would be if you have a yard that you actually wanted to firm up and have it so that trucks and stuff can go across it very nicely. Right now is the time to pack it away because you will collapse all your pore spaces really, really nicely. So I just want to try to get my comment section up here, and then I got it. Okay, I can see your comments. This is gonna work really, really good. Hey Brady, hey Krissa. Hello, 1, 2. Thank you for all your valuable information. Anytime whatsoever. There's 8 of you and only 3 of you talking. I don't bite, I promise. No such thing as a stupid question. All questions are smart. Okay, I'm gonna just start talking about soil. You guys can put your questions down below, even if they're not related to soil or even about the topic I'm talking about. But I want to get the ball rolling on the conversation here and just wait for a few more people to come into the actual live itself. I didn't really announce that I was going live. I just said I was going to potentially go live tonight. So just something to keep in mind there. If we don't end up with a ton of people, it's just those of you that had your notifications turned on. So... oh, wow, Puerto Rico. Hello. Anthony, hello. How do I pronounce your name? From Puerto Rico, Hambalamos? Given you're in Canada, when will you show your medicinal grow? I actually got night owl seeds. I got a whole care kit from them. A ton of autoflowers, so I'm going to be growing those. I got to do a video about them though, so I do need to kind of take my time when it comes to putting those together. I want to do a good job with the autoflowers because I think there's a little bit of misinformation out there from what I can see about those guys. I don't know which video you're referencing. Oh, I'm talking about the one on Instagram more so. Thanks for not biting, Rebecca. That's good. Anytime. Pleasant surprise. Hi from Ontario. Ontario, you're up late, Rebecca. Well, actually, you're not. It's what, 9:04 there. It's not too late. Can you talk about cover crops and companion plants? Carlos, your name is Carlos. Yes, I can do that for you. Falcon Moon. 1, 2, woot. They don't like root pressure. Paul Fresco. I don't know what you guys are talking about now. Oh, autoflowers. You're talking about autoflowers, Paul. Got it. Yeah, they're apparently pretty sensitive, I guess. Apparently, supposedly. So, can you see Ella? She's up there in the corner. I'm just waiting for her to like come and like swoop down at me and me flinch. You guys will think I'm under attack by a dinosaur. I'm not though. It's just Ella being friendly as always. Actually, she has her moments. Anyone who knows me personally knows that Ella is my baby, and the only thing allowed to touch Ella is me, everyone else she may or may not bite. So it's really funny when you guys are like, oh, she's so cute. And everyone who knows her personally is like, no, she's not. No, she's not. She's mean. So that's pretty good. Okay, so I want to start this off with soil outdoors right now. Do not touch it. So I posted on Instagram here not too long ago about soil and how when it's wet and moist or there's pooling water, we don't want to walk on it, we don't want to shovel it, we don't want to touch it, and we most definitely don't want to add more snow or soil to the top. We don't want to mulch it. We don't want to add anything to it because it can actually really add to compaction. And this is particularly true when we have a clay soil in particular. If you're building new beds and stuff, you want that soil to actually dry out before you put weight on top. If you're doing a no-dig garden, you most definitely, if you're going to do like the Charles Downing, whatever his last name is, cardboard and then compost on top. Again, you really, really want to make sure you're careful with that. You do not want wet soil into there. And so there's a few reasons for this. When we have our spring breakup is what we call in the industry. Oil industry will call it spring breakup. The forestry industry will call it spring breakup. Our soil had ice in it. So it had these tubular ice structures and ice crystals all throughout the entire profile, particularly if we had a really wet fall. And so it acted almost like a stilt that kind of held the soil up for a period of time. It gave it nice porosity, nice structure. So as tractors and trucks drive over them in these industries, it is able to support them without compacting it. And this is particularly important for the forestry industry because the forestry industry has to actually reclaim the soil if they do compact it. So they have to take a penetrometer, which is just a fancy pogo stick essentially, and they have to stick it in the soil and actually do it on a grid and determine what the soil compaction is in that area. And then when they're done forestry in that area, they then have to return that soil back to that original state. And the best way to do this is by harvesting only in the winter and then avoiding putting heavy equipment on that environment, particularly in the spring. In the summer, it's not as bad, but particularly in the springtime. So that is the same rule for us gardeners. We need to, the same rules apply to us. So we need to keep our feet off of it whenever possible, especially lawns. If you're having lots of troubles with your lawn and you think, man, my lawn is really hard. Your lawn is probably really hard because kids and humans and animals are likely walking on it, or you're shoveling heavy snow on it all the time. And so as the pores begin to thaw, the roots in there are typically dead at this point, unless there's some exceptions like trees and stuff that have more of a bark to them, but any sort of fibrous root has died off in those areas. And so when the water gets pulled out, we'll end up with mushy noodles all through our soil. And so when we step on it, we just push it in and we just collapse all that work we put into it from the year before. And when we collapse it, we end up with really, really heavy compaction. And then we're back at square one, despite the fact that you may have rototilled the year before, or maybe you're just finally starting to get good results out of your no-till. You definitely want to avoid that. You also want, if you're getting like soil dropped off at your house, per se, like if you're buying it in bulk, you're filling up raised beds, anything of that nature, you want to apply it to your raised beds or to your beds when it's dry. That is the ideal situation. You want to avoid scooping and plumping dirt anywhere when it's wet. So whenever possible, ask for dry dirt. And then same thing, if you get it delivered and there's like a rainstorm coming through or something crazy like that, you definitely want to make sure that you're like tarping it and keeping it as dry as possible. So really, really valuable information there. I was going to do a whole video on this, and maybe I still will, depending. But yeah. So I'm just going to see what is all on the comment section. Good day from Northern Ontario. Farmer Chick. Hello. Soil is lava. Soil is lava right now, Carissa. Very much so. I've been playing with my raised beds a little. I mean, my dogs have been playing with my raised beds a little too, so they're slightly compacted as well. What's your opinion on seed starting in vermiculite only, from Farmer Chick? So there's no reason why you can't do vermiculite only. I would, and I've done it in the past, particularly with photosensitive seeds. So things like lettuce, if I'm starting those indoors early, I'll use vermiculite because it allows for more UV penetration. Smaller flower seeds as well, again, do really, really well in vermiculite. The only thing to remember here is that it's a fully inorganic, and when I say, people sometimes get hung up on this and I get nasty comments about it, but when I say inorganic, I'm coming from a soil science perspective. I'm talking glacier rock, something that's never been alive before, not necessarily something that's treated with product. You know what I mean? So when I talk about vermiculite being inorganic, it doesn't mean that it can't be used for organic growing. It can be, it's just inorganic in the sense that it is derived from rock. So it's never been alive before. And because of that, we may be missing like just natural processes that take place in soil, such as nutrient cycling and stuff like that, that we may find more so in a peat-based setting. So I, with vermiculite, aim for inorganic fertilizers. And when I say inorganic, I mean legitimate inorganic fertilizers. And I steer away from organic fertilizers. And for seed starting, for particularly with beginners and stuff, and people who are looking for really, really good results, I, again, will always tell people to go for inorganic rather than organic, because there's a lot of nutrient cycling that needs to take place. And you do really need to be on top of your soil environment if you're aiming for organic in a seed starting setup, because again, it's a very small environment, and so you really have to watch that closely, make sure there's proper levels of moisture, proper levels of oxygen, all that sort of stuff. So it can get a little bit more complicated, but honestly, vermiculite, I like it for its water holding capacity and its aeration, like how airy it is, and it works really, really nicely for flowers and smaller type seeds, I find, especially for transplanting. Oh, it works smooth because your roots don't get tangled. You literally just have to pick them out with like a pen, and oh, it worked very, very nice. So there's a lot of comments, Rhonda. Yes, there is. There's always lots of comments on my lives. You guys are awesome. That's why. That is why. For 27 people, there's so many comments, which I love. I love every moment of it. Thoughts on JDAM organic farming? So Anthony, I need to look into this more. I've been trying to do a video on this, but every scientific journal I've found is the original scientist who designed JDAM, which is a very biased look at it. And whenever I try to do these videos, I try to look at like one side of the story, but then I always go for the contradicting side as well. And that's just that's my education kicking in. I'm always trying to disprove the hypothesis. That's my job. As a scientist, my job is to disprove the hypothesis. So I'm always looking for reasons why it may not be 100% correct. And sometimes my videos may come across as I'm always bashing or damning something. And I don't want it to come across like that whatsoever. It's just I'm always there to disprove the hypothesis. So I need to find something about JDAM that challenges the narrative, and that means I have to look for a scientific journal that isn't necessarily published by the original guy. And it's not because I want to make him wrong, it's just I need to see what the opposing factors are there. That is my next one. I am going to hammer that one out. I got down the rabbit hole of insect frass, which I have a video recorded on now, and then also rock dust. I fell down the rabbit hole on them, and so JDAM is my next one here that I gotta do. A month of dog sitting in my yard has turned into a mud pit. Glad they stayed out of a garden. Rebecca, I have 2 dogs, and my goodness, you have no idea what my yard looks like on a good day. I don't have grass on my lawn in the backyard because it's like their little running course. I've just totally given up. They tend to stay out of the garden as long as there's stuff planted in there and there's like stakes strategically placed with like string and stuff. But yeah, miserable. Soil compaction is a real thing. Hillcroft Farm, yes it is. 1, 2, I'd rather not see your flower because I don't want to monetize you. Yeah, it's funny you say that. My cannabis videos I have done in the past, my goodness, did they get flagged. Like the initial one I did got hit with restricted, which is fine. It makes sense because it is 18 plus and I labeled it as 18 plus. But I think the second one they like completely tried to take down and I had to send it in for review. And it wasn't like anything bad. Like I wasn't harvesting or I was repotting anything in it. They ended up putting it back up, but yeah, they're pretty like with those rules here on YouTube. So could you discuss fertilizing with urine or just pouring it on our compost? Plants native now. I get asked this question so often. I get asked about the urine question and I get asked about the feminine question as well. I've hesitated on doing a video on it because it's kind of cringe, but technically urine has really high levels of ammonia in it, which is a very stable form of nitrogen that can be nitrified into usable forms of nitrogen for the plant. So if you were to use this product, you could put it in the compost because in high quantities, it's actually pretty poisonous to plants, which is why when dogs go to the bathroom on our lawn, it goes brown. So you could technically put it in the compost, but it's a really, really stable form of nitrogen. So nitrifying bacteria will go in, cycle it, turn it into nitrite, whatever stage it's at, and then it is bioavailable to the plant. So it is a thing. It's a little more complicated than that, but it's a thing. Hickory Farm, yes, it's soil that has no plant, animal, fungal components, organic, basically a mineral soil. I don't know what that's referring to. Thanks, Rhonda. Elizabeth, hi from Detroit, where Canada is to the east and south of us. Yeah, that's true in Detroit. You're surrounded. Wahaha. You don't have to worry about us. We don't really even have a military, so you're good, Elizabeth. Might come visit you sometime. Whenever it gets cold, you can like adopt some of us northern folk. There's still snow on the ground where I am, and I'm watching it from Ontario that has like +5 and stuff, or like no snow, and I'm just like, huh, I was born in the wrong area. That's for sure. Farmer Chick, thank you very much. I just started some ranunculus in it and I'm getting amazing results. Thanks for your comments. I really appreciate it. Yeah, ranunculus would do very, very well in there too, Farmer Chick. I would just use an inorganic fertilizer. I would stay away from organic. Don't be scared about inorganic fertilizer. I need to do a video on that too. There's so many videos I need to do. But yeah, I mean, there's no reason to be scared of inorganic fertilizer. It's the pesticides and stuff from the conventional side that we should be more so worried about. So, Ashley D, hey girl, you've helped me so much with my plant journey this year. You're so informative. Aw, thanks. I'm glad I'm helping. I love that. I love helping. If you ever have a specific question, Ashley, pop it in the comments down below. You'll get higher priority. I mean, you have the same name as me. I'm joking. I'm joking, but not joking. Kaio, hi, would like to know about using urine as fertilizer. Wow, you guys are really into the urine fertilizer. I just answered that. Rewind it just a little bit and you'll hear all about it. Rebecca, I am about 1.5 northeast of you, Elizabeth. I like it when you guys start finding each other in the chat. So you're like, hey, let's meet up. That's adorable. Winnipeg in the house. I really like your username, Q2428. It reminds me of like Elon Musk and Grimes's babies' names. That's so funny. You're the best. I appreciate that. That's very, very kind. Do you teach at a university level? If so, where? I do not teach at a university level. I do not teach at all, actually. I don't teach at all. I fell into the role of teaching about soil and plant science because of friends and family asking me so many questions about plants and soil science. So they obviously knew my job was in agriculture. They knew I had a ton of houseplants. They've known I've gardened for my entire life. I've had houseplants for my entire life too. And they knew whenever we would all hang out, if they brought up the topic of soil or plants, it was just, Ashley's gone. Like, get ready for like a 3-hour conversation because it's not going to stop. So it was a suggestion when people were off of work, and I guess agriculture is considered, would it be considered an essential service? It's whatever service was still allowed to work when COVID hit like the hardest. So I was still working at the time, and I essentially was getting so many messages from people who weren't working. And so my one friend suggested just make videos, like just do like a blog post or videos or something. And I am a formal writer, like I'm a scientific journal writer. That's what I'm trained in. So it's very jot notey and not fun to read. And if you ever go on my blog, you can probably tell I'm not a huge writer type person, but videos I do enjoy, and I love teaching people. I always have loved teaching people in my private space. And so that's what actually made this YouTube channel a thing. And when I first got on YouTube many, many moons ago, I would always pretend like I was learning about plants, and I would never say that I was formally educated whatsoever. So, and I did that because, I don't know, sometimes I feel bad saying I'm a soil scientist, if I'm being totally honest with you guys. I feel like I'm being like, oh, but it's not that. Like, I know no more than you know. You probably know more about specific things than I do. Users. Hello, Ashley from Alberta. This is Susanna. Hi, how are you? I haven't started your tomato seeds yet that you sent me. I am very soon. April, I'm thinking. I've got this vibe that I thought spring was going to start early, but I have a feeling it's going to start and then stop and then start again. So I'm going to start my tomato seeds in April because I do not have enough room otherwise. Elizabeth Chase, enjoyed your on the ledge discussion. Do you have a humidity level to temp reference? Elizabeth, I have the VPD YouTube video. I have the VPD blog post. And for the 37-ish of you that are on here right now, I'll let the cat out of the bag here. Just a little bit of the cat out of the bag. I am working with a group of Canadians, engineers and software engineers and tech engineers located out in Ontario. It's like a group of us young folk. And we're working with Mohawk University. There's just a group of us. And we're essentially making a plant sensor and an app that kind of go together. And the premise behind it is to grow plants with science. So it can be used for cannabis, veggies, and houseplants. So I've done several hours of endless amounts of Excel sheets where I'm listing out VPD ranges for things. I did a video on GDUs and GDDs for veggie growing. I'm putting in the GDUs and the GDDs for that, for each type of veggie. And it's pretty thorough, pretty hardcore. It's going to test your soil's pH, tell you when you need to fertilize, when you need to water, how close your light is, if you need to move it closer, like all that sort of stuff. If it's in a window, where it needs to be. It'll actually give you recommendations on like where your plants should be in your house based on where you have your sensors. And it'll tell you like this room's probably the best for this plant and this room will work for that plant. And then also on the app, there's like a talk to the expert, and expert's me. So I'll actually be able to like interact with you guys live term. So it's actually a really cool project. It's just not fully ready yet. And the first set of units that come out, there's like a restricted amount of them just because of supply chain issues. So I think the first set we're only gonna like have 400. So it's gonna be like a rush to get these things. But yeah, it should be good. Can someone please tell me what scales are and how to get rid of them on my Monstera plant? Oh my goodness, that's gross. You gotta physically remove them, Ashley. Pluck those babies off, and then insecticidal soap, and just keep your eye on the prize and just literally keep on manually removing them. That's usually the best way to get rid of those bad boys. Do you know how many houseplants you own? Jordan Lee. Oh. No. This is like, I've got 2 plants here. I've got all of these plants here. I have plants up on the top of that. And then I've got a wall of plants out there. And then in front of my fireplace, I have plants. And I have my fiddly fig here. And then I have my bedrooms full of plants. I don't know how many plants I have. I gotta do a plant tour is what I need to do. But yeah, I've got no idea how many plants I have. Sorry. That was a very uneventful answer. Do you know how many? You're a natural teacher coming from a teacher. Wink, wink. That's awesome. I love that. That's good. I do enjoy teaching. I really, really do. That's why I've tried to, like in my area, in my city, I've reached out to like several gardening groups, like community gardening groups, and asked to volunteer to teach through Zoom or like in person, whatever the case is. But none of them get back to me. I'm assuming it's because there's so many plant professionals out there now that I probably just get washed out in the noise a little bit. So I probably stand out as just like a regular folk, unfortunately. But I would love to teach more. That's like my goal, is to teach for free for everyone. I want everyone to grow everything they want. So with science, not with hacks. Hacks are for the weak. Am I right? I want to say that you are the only plant YouTuber I like to watch because you're so real and get down to the point and you actually are helping people. Oh, Ashley, thank you so much. Rebecca agrees. Thank you so, so much. Okay, have you done a review of EM1? I haven't done a review of EM1. What is that? I don't even know what that is. I'm gonna have to Google that. Do they have ASMR gardening videos on YouTube? I mean, they might. It definitely would not be me making them. It's like swearing and like things falling off all over, like a mess everywhere. That's like more my style. Not very ASMR, I'll tell you that much. Maybe like whistling, that sort of thing. Ashley, be proud you're a soil scientist. That's almost nobody could say that, and you're doing. Yeah, it's so funny you say that, Ashley. There isn't a lot of people that can say that, because my university, my graduating class had 3 soil majors, and all 3 of us were redheads, which is so funny. I'm in contact with one still. She's actually a good friend of mine. And the year before us, the 2 years before that had 0, and the 2 years after that had 0. And there was no one signed up for majors in like anywhere in the near future for soil. So it's like one of those majors that no one wants to take. And I think it's because like soil majors have to do a combination of geology, engineering, agriculture, soil physics, soil chemistry, organic chemistry, soil microbiology, biology. And so it's really, really science heavy. And then we also have to do our majors, our minors, and our minors are usually in plant science. So then we had to do all the plant science courses on top of that. So, and I never really talk about that, but my minor is in plant science. So, and actually a majority, well, one of my big jobs that I did have was in wheat breeding. And that was obviously plant science. That had nothing to do with soil whatsoever. So, kind of cool. Autos are not reproducible like parents. Yeah, I heard that. You can't even top an auto, interestingly enough. So you couldn't even do a clone, is my understanding of that one. My name is Lisa. Hello, Lisa from Ellicrow. My room's like yours, except for my focus is on scrubbing the air. Elizabeth, have you tried liquid dirt? I've done a video on the liquid dirt. I haven't tried the liquid dirt yet, so I am getting it. And I am going to do the study on it. The reason why I haven't purchased it yet is because I want to get a fresh batch just before I start my experiment. And I'm going to do my experiment outdoors because I was thinking, I put some monitors in my grow tents. So I have a grow tent up here and then I have 2 grow tents downstairs. And so this grow tent here with the light and stuff runs a little bit warmer than my big one downstairs. It runs a little bit cooler. And then my other one is kind of like in between the two. So because there's so much variation in temperature, that's going to affect my VPD, my nerd brain just firing at a million paces a minute, I'm going to do an outdoor liquid dirt experiment because that is what's going to give this the most equal chance across the board. So I just don't want someone in like more heat than another because there's a worry that, you know, too much heat could reduce my VPD if my moisture is not high enough, and then it'll slow down my nutrient uptake, which will slow down my plant growth rates and like all that sort of stuff. So I want to avoid that as much as possible. And outdoors is going to be the best bet for that. Do you have a standard water pH for aeroids when watering them? Yeah, so I can do a video on pH adjusted water for fertilizing. This goes for houseplant people and for gardeners. Actually, it applies to both of you guys. For the best results, you always want to have pH or neutral water. So it kind of depends on what you're growing in. So if you're growing in like a peat-based soil or like a compost or vercast, and you know the pH is lower or more acidic, or it's aged, like the older the soil is, the more aged it is, the more acidic it can be. I always aim for a 7 pH, or in some cases maybe higher, depending on what your base is at. So that's something to keep in mind there. And then if you know that it's a fresh soil and you test the pH, you're adding things like lime in your potting soil for houseplant people. If you're trying to neutralize everything, then you're always going to want to aim for like a 6.5 pH adjusted water when you go to water, and you'll see really, really, really stellar results. Now, I mean, if you're a crazy houseplant person, obviously, it's going to be in your time and in your best interest if that's your main hobby. For some of us, I mean, for me, I've got a full-time job. I've got this YouTube channel. I've got the blog. I've got so much stuff going on, so I can't put too much energy into that sort of thing. But I've got some pretty big plants still without the pH adjusted, but I do very quick pH adjustments. My water's not really out too much. So my water is at an 8. By the time I add my fertilizer in, it's usually around a 7. So it's already pretty low. And then if I want to lower it just like a little bit more, pretty simple to do. It's like a couple drops basically. What if your area is no snow, low freeze area? Oh, like you have low precipitation? What are you talking about? Oh, you're talking. Clarify that for me, Run Boy. I don't know what you're asking there. Or does it vary on the soil pH? Yeah, it does. It will vary. Like what you water with will vary based on the soil pH that you have. I will contact you by email, GrowCube. I just came across you on live. That's awesome. Oh! There we go. Oh, that went over my head. That's Elcro. They're making a self-watering planter, but it like self-waters based on the soil moisture. It's very cool. Very, very cool. Sorry, new to your channel, need to dig into topics. Oh gosh, Elizabeth, don't worry about it. I have way too many videos for the normal human to watch, so you can top out autoflowers and you can clone, but it's not, do not use the mother plant stunts, the clones. Hey, Vasilla's here. How's it going, girl? Awesome channel. Go watch it. Learn to grow. RO water has too low a pH for watering. Not necessarily. Once you add your fertilizer in, it'll like come up a little bit higher. China, what time is it right now? Lisa, it's got to be late there, or is it early? I don't know. What time is it here? It's 8:37 here. Do you preserve any of your garden veg? Aileen Bell, any tips on fave recipes? So grateful for your channel. I do preserve all my garden veg, and I eat it all year. I'm like borderline a prepper when it comes to my food storage. So I've been really toying with this lately. I'm debating starting like a gardening in Canada vlog channel for my day-to-day life that you guys may find interesting, because you guys are starting to ask me questions about like favorite recipes, canning, farming, my animals, like all that sort of stuff. And so I want to post it on this channel, but I know it's going to do really badly on this channel. So I don't want to post it here. And if I did post like a vlog style video on this channel, I know for a fact that it would actually heavily damage my entire platform, and it would do like really, really poorly. So I like want, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of I want to avoid it for right now. Oh my gosh, Priscilla, have you lost your mind? Thank you. I'm speechless. I just looked over and there was like a giant red bar. I was like, oh, that can't be good. Oh my God. You guys have to go check out Priscilla. She's awesome. She just came out with a book actually in it. And she references some of my techniques and stuff in there for soil testing. But she's awesome. She's super, super awesome. Yes, yes, yes to vlogs. We appreciate you as a teacher and as a human. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I want to start the vlog channel, but I just don't know like how many people would actually subscribe to that and like how interesting I am. I'm actually kind of, my family describes me as very down to earth and funny. So that's like the common question. That's like the most common thing I always get is like, how are you so down to earth and chill and funny? But that's just my personality. I'm a pretty relaxed person. It's the red hair. It's like so much torment in childhood has got me to this place. Hi from Germany. Katie, hi, how's it going? Tuna, prepper, autocorrect, attacked. Love that. I would love, fermented veggies. Yes. Sauerkraut. My grandma does sauerkraut like in this big bin thing. Yeah, no. That's where that would have to go. It would have to go on a vlog channel. It wouldn't do well on here. And I know if I did like a vlog style video here, it would actually like harm this channel. So that's how weird YouTube is. So I could put out a video I know that like subscribers would enjoy, but like maybe only 46 of you would enjoy. And if that video flops because it's not my normal video, YouTube will like punish me for the next 2 or 3 videos I put out. They will not show up in people's browser features. It won't show up in people's like suggested feeds, which really, really hurts the channel. But then it like, yeah. So I would have to be a separate channel for this sort of stuff. But I was just thinking that I was like, I just did a whole deer. I just canned a whole deer worth of meat. And I was like, that would have been such a good vlog that I feel like my audience, a select few of my audience would actually enjoy. Like, how do you can meat? And so I was like, a vlog channel would work for that. It wouldn't make sense for me to put deer canning video on gardening in Canada, soil science stuff. So I'd follow a second channel. I like that. I had a feeling you were a prepper. How fitting. You agree with the second channel. Let's just say I'm not a good prepper, but a kind of a prep. Not like I'm not a prepper, but I'm like, I prep for like food because I like food. My doctor told me I need to lose weight, and I'm like, you know what food I have to eat? Like, come on. I got stuff to do here. I got things to consume. Plus all my canning and stuff, I'll be like making my deer meat and then I'll cook it, like cook some up and see if my recipe tastes good and then I'll eat it. It's like, yeah, you didn't need that. Did not need that. Will I would subscribe. Katie would subscribe. Aline would subscribe. And Elizabeth subscribe. We got a group of 3. Let's do it. Even if it's just us 3 hanging out. I actually don't mind editing videos and stuff. I actually find it pretty fun to do, so. I live in Arizona desert, so Canada is like exotic. Oh no, it's not, sweetheart. I've got a snowbank out front. So it's like very dead out there right now. Hello from Prince George, BC. Thanks, Ashley, for letting me know my growth zone got bumped up from a 5 to a 3, from zone 5 to 3. Yeah, it's always changing, like all the time. Government Canada is consistently reassessing those. So, hello from Saskatchewan. I would watch a second account. Oh, Susan would watch a second account too. Woohoo. Aline, I'm originally for VA Beach. I lived in Canada for 3 years, but I still think Saskatchewan is a wonderland. Yes. Gave myself food poisoning once. I obviously need help with my sauerkraut. Could have just been the sauerkraut. I mean, that stuff is wicked on the guts. Actually, I saw a pic of you and Bob at the Green Machine. Your boots are way too shiny for that soil. Yeah, those photos were taken a while ago, actually, on our combine. Oh my God, that is at least 3 or 4 years old, that photo. So that's funny. Vincent, hi, hello. Everyone like and share from Darcy. Yeah, like and share. I don't know if that does anything. Actually, I think sharing does. When some of you guys went like on an absolute blitz of like sharing my videos in Facebook forums and stuff, or groups, whatever they're called, and Reddits and everything, my goodness. That was overwhelming. That was like, I was like looking, because you can figure out like where your streams are coming from, and it was like external, and then I was like, oh, external, and then you click on it and it's like Facebook, Discord, and it was all videos that you guys had shared. So I'm very thankful for that. You do better for me than the YouTube algorithm does. Ashley, Susanna. Oh, I read that one already. Kevin, I like meat. Yeah. Yep. It's a thing. I kind of like deer meat. I don't know. It's really lean. I usually mix pork with it. Nearly 4 a.m. in Germany. Katie. Oh my gosh. You're dedicated. Dedicated. Katie says 5 a.m. wake up call. Try 4 a.m. wake up call. Where the cool kids are at. Hi from South Florida. Hi from South Florida, Vincent. Anytime you want to adopt me, please let me know. 2044 in Alberta. Hello, Germany. Yeah. We're the same time zone, actually, Suzanne. I grew up in the Yukon. What everyone called prepping was normal day, everyday life for someone. Garden, hunt, canned elk. Oh, elk meat is delicious. Yeah, it's so funny. My grandma, when I grew up, my grandma just canned everything and baked everything. And I think it's because Saskatchewan's pretty remote. When I talk to my father-in-law and stuff, he's talking about how they use horses and sleighs when he was young to get to and from school. So I feel like Saskatchewan is so remote, and areas of Saskatchewan are so remote that prepper style of living has just bled into my generation, even because it's just been that way for so long here, because grocery stores and stuff. Even now, grocery stores in a small town Saskatchewan, okay, they really don't exist. I mean, Blaine Lake has a grocery store. If you're willing to pay through the roof for food, sure, but otherwise, you have to be able to survive until you can get to basically Saskatoon or get to Costco or whatever the case is during the week or the weekend to get food. So, Denmark. Holy moly, we got Europe here. Europe's hanging out with us right now. That's crazy. How are you guys in Europe? Are you scared right now? I always wondered that, if you're scared about what's happening close to you. I always like asking people who are actually closer to the situation if you're scared, because I'm sitting here in Saskatchewan, I'm scared. But question to a soil scientist: is a thicker moss pole or a thinner one better for certain aeroids? It depends on how often you want to keep the moisture up inside of said moss pole. So if you don't want to keep the moisture up in the moss pole as often, then go for thicker, meaning more water holding capacity. If you don't mind watering more often, then go for a thinner one. And then it depends on how you want it to vine. Is it vining straight up, or is it coiling? If it's coiling and you got pretty big leaves on that sucker, you're going to want to go with the bigger one. If it's coiling and you have just tiny little leaves, then maybe you'll go with the smaller one, right? So there's no real benefit to either or, unless if you have larger size leaves. I actually have to put quite a few of my plants. I don't think you can see it. No, you can't see that top shelf. So that shelf goes up to the roof. And I've got some brandies in there. Oh my Lord, do I need to... I've got to repot some houseplants. Holy Landa, do I have to repot some houseplants. Yes, my grandma, who survived the Great Depression, was a prepper. That's how they ate. Yeah, I don't know. And for some reason, my grandma, it just got passed down. It's just normal for my family. It's not prepperish. It's just canned stuff tastes better when it's from the garden. I don't know why it tastes better, but it does. It does. 200 Ukrainians will move into my neighboring village soon. 200. Holy macaronis. Yeah, my husband is a Doukhobor Russian, which I feel like not a lot of people know about, but they're Russians that were in like Turkey. Am I back on the same? I am on the same live again. Okay, the volume is gonna sound really freaking weird though. I'm gonna have to sit like right here in order for it to work. You can see my light and stuff there, back there too. Or down to 6. Okay. What was I even saying? Oh, okay. Can you guys hear me okay? Or is it bad? Like, is it bad volume? Let me know. Oh, orientation locked. Jeez, Lois. Here, let me get some better lighting. Ta-da! Micro tense, like right here. You're sitting on top of a bucket, guys. That's how much I like you. I like you so much. You're on top of a bucket. Oh, ooh, ooh. Oh gosh, oh gosh. Good. Volume's good. Hear me good. It's louder, but fine. That was a tricky somersault. I mean, I'm pretty much a gymnast at this point. All my animals are also in the room with me now, so this could be exciting. Anyways, my husband is a Doukhobor Russian. So technically, SARS Russia used to have, well, basically USSR, used to have like a huge majority of Eastern Europe. And they didn't like my husband's family's religion. So they like chased him out. And that's actually how they ended up in Canada. But then my husband's mom's side is Ukrainian. So it's kind of mixed emotions up in this house right now. I'm pulling my hair out over. Yeah. I did my thinnest moss pole is my Rafta 401 that's in the backs of my videos over top of this one shoulder. It is a 1x1. It might be smaller than that. It actually might be, I'm pretty sure it's a 1x1. And then I took like the juke twine, and I like wrapped it around the pole, and then I like put my Raftaphora up the pole. And it's like not the best at holding humidity, but it works in a pinch, right, Cole? It works in a pinch. Mm-hmm. This is Cole. He's not on the videos very often. Say hi. Videos with cats always get more views. Yeah, Cole's my old cat. He's very, very old. And then this thing in the background crying. You probably hear him in videos all the time. That's Bronx. Bronky, come here. Come here. Oh, he almost took out my alocasia. Come here. Come here, babies. Come on. Come. People want to see you. People want to see you on the camera. Oh my god, it's so fat. Say hi. Say hi. Hi. This is Fat Frank. He's also an old boy. How old are you, bro? We don't know how old you are. You're a rescue pup. I think he's likely like 13, they say. I took him to the vet this year and they're like, he's 16. And I'm like, he's not 16. Don't say that to me. Oh, yeah. Oh, there's so much complaints. Oh, no, I just don't want it. Oh, 3D printing. Make them hollow in the middle. Well, I'm sure that's what you're doing. Then like stuff them with moss. That's super, super, super cool. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Ooh, ah! There we go. That's Bronx for you. He's crying because he wants to go to bed. There's Ella's cage, everyone. The cage she never uses. Yeah, you never use that cage, do you? Come here. Come. She's trying to sleep, so she may not come down. No, she's not going to come down. She just said, ow. I swear to God, it's so dramatic. Ow. Me and Seoul didn't freeze over winter. I had a ton of rain. Oh. That may compact over time. You want to stay off of it whenever it's wet. So areas like where you are, for example. Yeah, same thing. You'd want to stay off whenever it's wet. Unfortunately for you, like that would be a huge portion of your year. Which is not fun, having to manage that. I look like I'm bald when I go too far back. I'm not bald. This is weird chat. It's like 10 minutes ahead of the video. Oh! That is weird. I always thought that there was a delay because sometimes you guys will ask questions and then I won't get an answer for like a really long time. And I'm like, oh, that person probably dropped off the chat. But then I guess maybe not. 2 dogs, both rescues, a cat, a rabbit. My cat attacks my hair but snuggles my rabbit. She's weird. I prefer doggos. Yeah, it's so true. They're he just looked at me when I called his name. He's pretty good. And then Kane, and then my youngest one, Kane. He's in the bathroom right now because loco. He would be like, he'd be jumping up here and my camera would be doing more somersaults than what it already is. So we avoid that whenever possible. Run boy, always a bit of a leg. Greetings from West Virginia. Metal mocha. I want to know what metal mocha tastes like. Sorry, buffering. There's quite a few Mennonites and Catholics in my area from that part of the world. Yeah. Yeah. Like Saskatchewan's a huge population. And Alberta, I think, too, has a huge population of Ukrainians. Like, I don't know anyone who isn't, like, knows a Ukrainian. It's just a thing here. Now, I'm not Ukrainian blood at all. I'm French, German, Scottish. So I don't have any Ukrainian blood in me, but my family's also been here forever. I think my grandpa has like not a map, but a genealogy of like when we came into Canada, and it's like in the 1800s or something crazy like that, like the French side did. We've been here for a really, really long time. Not so French anymore. We're more just Canadian. Nothing unique to us. Remember, I was able to play it at 2 times speed and then caught up until the live feed. Oh. Technical difficulties. Okay, ask your questions really quick. Because I gotta go. Just saw my cardboard video. I'm glad you liked it. I had fun researching that one. Kind of crazy though, how much that's in there. I always rewatch my videos and I'm like, oh, I forgot to say that thing. But technically speaking, any cardboard that has like the anti-grease or the fire retardants or the bleaching or any of that sort of stuff in it, and then that person recycles that cardboard in the recycling bin because they can, technically that ends up in the recycle mix, right? And so then your recycled cardboard would be a combination of not just mineral oils, but all the things involved with recycling cardboard. I know in Saskatoon you cannot recycle pizza boxes, though. You cannot recycle, you can't recycle pizza boxes. I know that for sure. And sometimes I wonder, like, oh, is that maybe, now I wonder, is that maybe because of the fire retardant thing? Yeah. No spoilers. That actually wasn't a spoiler. That was not a spoiler. That was like a side insider info that I didn't even mention in the video. And then after I was like, I should have mentioned that. I always do that though. I always forget stuff. For my PPP, stress about repotting. Don't be stressed about repotting. Do it the way that's comfortable to you. So like, I have that blog post in there that has it lists out like type of plant, type of pot, watering personality, and then it tells you how to make that pot up, or how to make the potting soil for that plant based on those factors. Go watch that video and that blog post, or just even like DM me after and I can send it to you. And in it, it'll tell you the potting soil to use and stuff like that, based on like quite a few different factors. And I call it watering personality because I do think that some of us have like our own watering personalities. So that's how I design that. And that's what I would do. I would do what works for you in that sense. So, and you'll find that like when you figure out what your watering personality is and what your like your common pot type is, the potting soil pretty much mimics itself over and over and over again. So great, thanks. Mage, thank you for the donation, for the support and love. That's so kind. That's crazy to me. I don't know. I'm like, whenever people give me money, it's like, what? You don't have to do that. You're so silly. So silly. Okay. I do appreciate though. That just feels crazy. It feels crazy to be that appreciated, I guess you could say. So, but I am going to go, guys. I do have a Lee Valley Live on Thursday where I'm going to be making a DIY compost accelerator, DIY bokashi brand from scratch. You guys can check that out on Lee Valley's Facebook if you want to invest in better internet. I'll try. I'm in Saskatchewan. We're pretty rudimentary out here. But yeah. Yep. Come check it out. I'll do, what day is it today? Tuesday. I'll have another video tomorrow as well. I want to do parsnips the size of Charles Downing, but clay soil with leaf mulch amendments. Let them grow big. Or is that for, it's likely how loose his soil is more so than anything. You'd have to till it, likely. If you want big parsnips, I'd till. Hopping off. Bye. Bye-bye. What are your thoughts on geoengineering, aluminum and heavy metals and polymers to build up the soil? I know. Oh, why did that disappear? I am not good at this stuff. You can DM me on Instagram, Facebook, or technically you could email me. It's just ashley@gardeningcanada.net. How can you know bokashi and not EM1? I honestly don't know what EM1 is. I am such a starting to die slowly all over the place. I don't know what you're talking about geoengineering. I don't know what you're talking about there. Sorry, Middle Mocha. I'll have to look into that a little bit more, maybe get a better idea. I'm such a basic gardener. I am a basic gardener when it comes to that sort of stuff. So when it comes to bokashi and all that sort of fun stuff, I do the bare minimum for inputs. And that's just, I don't know. That's just how I am, I guess. Okay, guys. Good night. Have an awesome night. I know it's getting late out in the East Coast. I'm getting tired up here in the central area. So I'll talk to you guys next time. Be sure to tune in for tomorrow's video. I'm doing my regular posting again, 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. Same time, 3 times a week. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.